Hello, everybody, and welcome once again to my daily live stream. Today's Thursday, so we've got today and tomorrow. And I'm Rita Hickman, a body mind expert and shiatsu massage therapist that has dealt with chronic stress and anxiety for most of her life, which means that I'm an expert at knowing how to navigate it. So you are joining me here in Northern Illinois, and in the middle of spring, it dun 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 snowed again. How did that happen? Hey, Michael, good to see you. How did it happen that it snowed again in April? So hopefully, hey, Nikki, this will be the last snow that we have. So today's topic is something that is kind of near and dear to my heart. Hey, Sundi. So in today's world of stressed outedness and out over the top and polarity and all sorts of crazy stuff, the more stressed out we get, the less our rational mind makes decisions for us, and the more our emotional and limbic system makes decisions for us. And that's our very primal sort of part of us. Literally, they've done the brain scans and they said, aha, the part of you that is rational, hey, Kathy, and can think, through problem solving and all that other neat stuff, totally checks out, and your limbic system checks in. And even when you think, yeah, let's go to Mexico, no kidding, right, Nikki? Where it's warm. Even when you think that you're being crystal clear and super logical, hey, Deb, even when you think you've got all the problems solved, when you have that high level of clarity, you are probably not being rational. You're probably in your limbic system. So that's something to be aware of. We get this super clear, almost Sherlock Holmes sort of thought process when our limbic system, for some people, when our limbic system kicks in. Other people like me, my nervous system shuts down and my brain shuts down. But for some people, what happens is they get this crystal clear, very sharp, very black and white sort of vision. People like that. That's happened to you, I'm sure, where you've seen it, or possibly it's you. So what happens is it's really easy when we're super stressed out for any of us to become narcissistic bullies, honestly. When we're uncomfortable, when we're stressed out, when we're in our limbic system, all we can see is, what do we need to do to ease the pain? What do we need to do to get more comfortable now? And the choices that we've made in the past haven't necessarily been good. For some people, it's picking fights. For other people, it's drinking or shopping or a distraction. Some people take all of that stress and internalize it, and it turns into physical health problems. But all of these are really just symptoms of not having good life coping mechanisms, not knowing what to do when you feel that stressed out that's really healthy. These are things that they should have taught you when you were a kid. But oh my gosh, I was a kid in the 70s. Do you know how dysfunctional that was? Do you know how many problems people had, growing up in the 60s or 50s or 70s or 80s, really, people have issues. And so there wasn't the fluffy bunny, how to meditate and work your way through things. That just wasn't part of the culture. And so now as adults, it's up to us to start to learn how to manage these things in so much better ways. So most of us are on the edge. Most of us, our nerves are about to snap. And hey, Stevie. So even when you think you've got this crystal clear vision and you've got everything solved, that's usually when you're most dangerous to the people around you. That's usually when you are thinking only in black and white, and you're not thinking about a rational big picture, which includes so many other things going on. The big picture, not just the, narrow, my side, your side sort of place to be, okay? So I have got 4 things you can do that when you feel like your nerves are about to snap and you're ready to become the biggest bully in the universe because you're perfectly justified, because whoever did whatever they did deserves whatever you're going to do, whether it's manipulating them or yelling at them or ostracizing them or whatever, whatever punishment you're going to mete out, either to somebody else or to yourself, because you're internalizing it and feeling guilt or shame or anger or whatever it is. 4 things you can do. Number 1 is pause. Whenever you find yourself wanting to have a big, giant action, hey, Juanita, to turn left or right, you need to pause. because it's just taking that breath that gives you just enough time for things to dial down a little bit and to make a better decision than the direction you were going to go. So there's this great woman that I worked with, and I taught her how to do step number 2, which is whenever you're about to explode, whenever your nerves are about to snap, you're going to punch somebody or punch yourself or set somebody's car on fire or something crazy. Take a drink of water, because that is step 2. Because taking the drink of water forces you to pause. It forces you to take just a moment and stop. It gives you a different felt sense, and it probably helps take care of any dehydration that you have. Because some of your crankiness and your nerves being on edge are probably because you're a little dehydrated or something's, missing inside of you. It's physical. Remember, stress is physical. And if you deal with the physical things, then your stress dials down considerably. So, step 1 is pause. Step 2 is when you feel like you're about to go off, drink some water. Okay? 3 is when you're about ready to snap, move around. Because it can be get up and go to the water fountain, it can be go for a walk, it can be anything that involves movement. What we tend to do when we're stressed out is we hunker down and we focus, at least I do, and we focus and we narrow in and we don't move the energy in any way. If you can take all of that angst and anger and nerves that you're feeling and channel it towards something that's more productive and more helpful, at the end of the day, you're going to feel good about yourself because you didn't go beat somebody up. You didn't go break the glass and have to fix something. And you got something accomplished, which is always nice. Now, here's the last one. Let's say you can't clean your house right now because you're in the middle of work, and everybody's irritating you and everything's on edge. And they want it now and they want it yesterday, and there's no tolerance and no patience, and there's this anger sort of brewing all around you. The last thing that I would suggest that you do is that you stretch, because stretching helps get the blood flow, get everything moving, and you stretch the part of you that feels most tense. So you can keep something as simple as a tie around. I keep my husband's old ties around. And if I'm holding my stress in my shoulders, doing a stretch, that gets into my shoulders, that gets that moving, and stretching my neck around, starts to relieve that feeling of going over the edge. I know it's ridiculous. You sit there and think, hey, Lisa, I was just about to talk about something that Lisa does. Lisa is a yoga instructor, and there's a reason why people who are into yoga feel better. And the reason is because they move and they stretch a lot, and that helps keep their stress level down. Now, I used to do yoga for about 10 years. And one of the reasons that I stopped was, because I got busy. And one of the reasons that I didn't start it back up again was because it always seemed like such a big deal. Like, oh, I have to go to a class and I have to do this and there's stuff involved and a mat and a block and, yikes. It was too much. But in reality, you don't have to do this whole big yoga thing. I mean, it's good for you and it's an excellent spiritual practice. And when you do it regularly, you get so many benefits. But if you're sitting there in bed, or if you're sitting there at work, or sitting there somewhere and you're about ready to scream, just taking something like your tie, that you may keep in your desk drawer, and stretching out your neck and shoulders will help you considerably, because that stretch will start to open the blood vessels, move the emotions through you. They'll start to relax the muscles. They'll give you the ability to breathe again. They'll calm down your nervous system, and you'll feel a lot more functional. So even doing something, just a few stretches, in the bathroom stall or anything. I once learned that you can always excuse yourself to go to the bathroom when you're in a stressful situation. So I tend to keep emergency things around me, water bottles, positive memories, and ties, or something similar. If I don't have a tie, I find something. I take a shoestring. I take my purse strap. I'll take something that will help me get into my shoulders and get that moving. Because believe it or not, as crazy as it sounds, when you do that, just for a few minutes, it dials down your stress level. Yes, breath work alone can help too. You know, one of the problems with breath work for me is when I'm super stressed out, I feel like I can't breathe. And so it's really hard for me to do breath work, hey Martin, when I'm really stressed out, because my whole chest is like collapsed in. You know, one of the first things I need to do is try to open up my chest so that I can breathe again. Because if I'm getting stressed out, I'm totally hunkering down and I'm bringing my shoulders in. And it seems like it would be like rolling a boulder up a mountain in order for me to breathe deeply. So 5 could be, you know, if we've done 4 and you're at stretching, 5 could be for me, then doing some of that breath work. And breath work can be even breathing. It can be, you know, in through the nose, out through the mouth. It can be one nostril then the other nostril, or it can be taking a deep breath and bearing down on it to press on the vagus nerve and calm your nervous system down. So, you know, if you remember that you are not trapped. There's this great movie I watched a long time ago. It was Then There Was You, and it had Sandra Bullock in it and, you know, somebody else. And in the movie, she was getting really stressed out, you know, or this guy thought she was being stressed out. And he said to her, now don't go eating candies and cookies and doing all that stuff that, you know, make you not feel good. And don't go doing that. And I'm saying the same thing. It's super easy to, you know, walk down and pick up a cookie from the lunchroom or whatever. And I do it all the time. So there's totally no judgment. And sugar can help you move too. But if you do the pause, drink some water, move a little bit, stretch, and thank you, Lisa, do a little bit of breath work, you will be surprised at how much 5-6 minutes of that can help make the next couple hours go better. Because when we're at the end of our rope, when our nerves are about to snap, and our limbic system is in control, we can't think outside of our box. And we think we're helpless, we're trapped, and we're just going to bear down and power through this. And taking that pause helps you remember you're not trapped, you're not victimized, there's something that you can do about this, and you should be doing it. Because you don't deserve to suffer. There's no need to suffer, and you're not more productive just because you're suffering. You're not a better person because you're suffering, you know, and no one else cares if you're suffering, actually. So the only person that's going to be miserable about you suffering is you. So why would you do that to yourself? Hey, Brenda, it's time to start loving ourselves more and caring about the sort of life we're living and the experience we're having. Because when we're in a good place, when our nerves are dialed down and we're more balanced, then we are the person that we're meant to be. Somebody who can think clearly and rationally and caring and in a compassionate way and can help lead everybody else around us to the promised land, you know, of serenity, you know, or at least how to get along for another day, because we're all struggling and doing the best that we know how. Okay? So today your homework assignment is catch when you're starting to feel stressed, and then I want you to do those 5 things. I want you to pause, have some water. I want you to move around a little bit. I want you to stretch, you know, whether it's your legs or your hamstrings, your feet or your shoulders or your neck, whatever it may be, and then really focus, bring your focus back to your breath. And if you do those 5 things, I want you to watch, because this is a learning experience, right? You know, right now you might not believe me, or it may sound like really good information, but the only way you're going to really get on board is doing it. So I want you to practice with it. Notice when you're starting to feel stressed. Yeah, no kidding. Getting out in nature helps me dial down too, Lisa. When you're starting to feel like you're getting stressed, okay, just on a mini level, I want you to do those 5 things and notice and pay attention to how they make you feel. And every time you do that, it will reinforce in your brain and strengthen that neural connection that says, oh yeah, when I'm starting to feel uncomfortable, let's do this. Let's course correct before it becomes a real problem, okay? That's the easiest, smartest thing to do. Don't wait until your nerves are about to snap. Notice, take that 5 minutes, and stay on the path that you want to be on. Okay? So, I would appreciate it so much if you would comment, share some love, comment on other people's comments, and be part of this great group, because it motivates me and keeps me coming back every morning to kind of bring us together and keep us all on track. because we need a positive, safe, wonderful, loving place with great information that we can share with each other in order to really make the difference that we want to make in this world, okay? So share, like, comment, and comment on other people's comments, okay? Thanks. Have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.